So, Kreg, your willingness to undergo this treatment is a selfish act, selfless act. Your motivation is not simply to help yourself, but rather to help the next generation of ALS patients. Just like the early explorers who were willing to travel uncharted waters, like the early astronauts who got on rockets, you are taking the path less traveled in the hope of opening a whole new world of scientific discovery and ultimately a treatment and cure for ALS. Because of this, we are proud to present to you on behalf of the Rhode Island chapter of the ALS Association the 2014 Brian Dickinson Award for Courage.
Thank you. I can't believe the applause I'm getting, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. I have ALS, I haven't found a cure for it, but I also haven't given $15 million to anybody, as much as I'd like to, but I do appreciate the kindness and applause. First of all, I'd like to say that in no way do I want or expect all this attention and praise tonight. But as my good friend Margaret Mino said once to me, as she made a comment about something I was wearing or my hair or something like that, and I made some sarcastic self-defeating comment back to her. She said, Kreg, you know, accepting praise is a sign of maturity. So I guess I'll be on my best behavior tonight. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about tonight, so I decided to talk about my personal journey with ALS. And this isn't about Kreg Palko. I did not want this night to be all about me. My journey is similar to anyone else here who has ALS. ALS can start in their hand like it did with me. It can start in their foot. It may even start in their tongue. But I'm going to talk about my journey, but be sure to know that my journey is just like anybody else's journey who experiences ALS. I know a lot of people here don't know a lot about the disease. I could talk about motor neurons, proteins, brain inflammation, etc., but I won't. I like to picture myself as a rather intelligent person, although a few of my professors at the Air Force Academy and some of my classmates here probably would say otherwise. I was a good football player, though. I'm going to keep it simple. About 2.5 years ago, I was on top of the world. My 2 kids were going to the finest of colleges. I had the perfect job. After 8 years, I was starting to reap the rewards of all my hard work. I mean, I was on top of the world. And when you're on top of the world, I get nervous. I don't know about you, but when you're on top, I knew something was going to happen. I did. And Elizabeth and I were empty nesters and rekindling our marriage a little bit. Life is good. Well, I took a surf trip to San Diego with my beloved Barrington Surf Club mates every night. And we were there for about 4 days, and the whole 4 days, I couldn't push up on my surfboard. I couldn't even stand up. And when I got out of the water, my left hand felt a little paralyzed. I didn't think much of it, and I kind of wrote it off as maybe I was just out of shape or just out of tune, and didn't think much of it. So a few weeks later, I go, April 2012, I went surfing in Newport, and the same thing happened. I was out there for 3 hours trying to get up on my surfboard, which was routine in the old days. I couldn't push up. And something else occurred after I got done surfing for 3 hours. My muscles started twitching, and after a couple of days, I thought, this is unusual. The twitching is not stopping. I wasn't sure what was going on. Then one day, while going to work, I dropped my car keys for the 4th time while I was walking into my office. I'm hoping nobody was looking out the window at the klutz who dropped his car keys for the 4th time that week. I immediately went into my office. I Googled muscle twitching, trying to figure out why my muscles were twitching. And by the way, my muscles have never stopped twitching. They've been doing that for 2 straight years. But if you ever Google muscle twitching online, the first thing that comes up are ALS and MS, multiple sclerosis. I started looking at the symptoms of both, and under ALS it said weakness, muscle twitching, talked about saliva, excess saliva, which at the time I did have that. It talked about not being able to whistle, but I couldn't whistle anymore. Believe it or not, it also said one of the symptoms is dropping your car keys. And so I kept reading more about ALS. It also said the most likely people to get ALS are football players and Gulf War vets. I happen to be both. It didn't seem to have hardly any MS symptoms, which in a way kind of bummed me out. And can you imagine being bummed out that you don't have MS rather than ALS, you know? All right, so from day one, I knew I was in big trouble. I kind of kept it to myself, but after various tests and knowing I was experiencing many symptoms of ALS, I had to come to grips soon with the fact that I would die an early death. And believe it or not, I came to terms with that pretty quickly. I lived a great life, probably done more than 49 years than most people do 100 years. And I said, all right, I can deal with this. But when you start thinking about dying, your brain gets all these crazy thoughts to it. Some aren't so crazy, like you really start going to a hyper-mode about estate planning and will my family be financially secure? Will I see my kids graduate from college? And you also think of some of the absurd things like, who's going to clean my gutters? Who's gonna cut my grass when I'm not here? And you know, one thing I didn't want to do, if anybody would ever show up to my funeral, you know. After coming to grips with this, I said to myself, after a while, it's like, holy cow, you know, with ALS, it's not about dying, it's about getting there. You know, dying is going to be the easy part. Getting there is going to be the hard part. So tonight, I want to concentrate and talk to you about getting there. Well, first, when I was thinking about the best way to describe my dream, the only way I could do it was with the devil. Picture one morning 2 years ago, I wake up and the devil is sitting on the corner of my bed. And the reason that I'm using the devil is because I don't think any other figure could have made up this disease or invented it. It's draconian in nature, and it's a horrible journey to have to go through for anybody. So the devil's on the corner of Craig's bed one morning, and as I wake up, he said, "Good morning, Kreg." As startled as I am, I say, "Good morning." And the devil says, "As you know, Kreg, you can no longer serve. And you know why that is? It's because I'm going to take over your life. I'm going to make things miserable for you. Starting this morning, your left hand is going to be paralyzed. You will not be able to button the top button of your shirt. I will attack your left arm and hand, and not only that, you will not be able to serve, you will not be able to water ski, and you will not be able to type at work with your left hand. You will hope that you have some freak of nature disease. You'll be tested for some of those freak of nature diseases, and you'll be hopeful that you can get by with only one arm the rest of your life. You'll keep snow skiing, you'll live productively, you'll be able to work, so you'll be positive for about 6 months. And then after that 6 months, I went to the refrigerator one day, grabbed a jar of jelly, and that jar of jelly happened to be open previously. I couldn't open it up with my right hand. And I was the only one home at the time. I had to take a seat, and my eyes welled up with tears, and I realized that I had the real deal. So I said, "Kreg," the devil says, "just like that I attacked your left arm, I attacked your right arm. I will take away your ability to ski or to type at all. But you think you'll be all right, I'll smart me. You always try to get out of the game, Kreg. You will use dragon speed and be proficient at that so you can continue to work." I'll make work more and more difficult for you. You'll have to start cutting back though, and you'll be working out of the house. At the same time, I'll be attacking your left leg and weakening your left ankle. With the writing on the wall, I will inundate you and your family with planning for your disabled future. You'll have to build a master bedroom on the first floor. You have to consider getting a wheelchair ramp and a van. You have to add a handicap entrance to your house. You have to consider home health care needs. And you'll have $30,000 of out-of-pocket medical expenses in 2013 alone. While you're stressing out about all the expenses and have to cut back at work at the same time, your long-term disability company that you've been paying out of pocket for 8 years will give you two checks and then say you'll no longer meet the definition of disabled. They're throwing you out their policy. But you're lucky SOB, Kreg, because you work for a great company. Constitution Surgery Centers. They're going to help you as much as possible to navigate your way through all this transition. You're also very lucky because you serve your country, and the VA has stepped up to the plate and help you in every way possible to accommodate your needs for this disease. 99% of the people in this country don't have that kind of support who have ALS. So as I'm rubbing your left leg of a string, I'm also going to start rubbing your speech. So you're planning using dragon speak, it's going to work out so well for you, making work even harder. After I take your left leg, I'll work on your right leg. I'm going to put you in a wheelchair. You'll be paralyzed, and the only thing that'll be working will be your eyes and your breathing function. But you'll be fully aware of everything that's going on around you. I will eventually take your diaphragm and your ability to breathe, and I will suffocate you. But Kreg, you will throw me for a loop. On April 10, 2014, you get a stem cell transplant in hopes of stifling or reversing the disease. It'll be a joyous occasion, but it will turn to hell. I will render so much pain into your spine, you'll pass out several times due to the agony. I will swell your spine and make you pay for trying to trick me. I'll virtually paralyze you from the neck down. From what should be a 1-week visit to the hospital will turn into a 3-month stay. And with that, the devil disappeared, never really telling me how I was going to get there and when. He left it open-ended. So maybe there is hope for me and others with ALS. Who knows what 8 million stem cells are going to do for me. I began to sit, stand, and walk again. My arms and hands are moving more every day. I'm not sure what the devil's plan was, but I'm fighting him all the way, making getting there very difficult for him. I'd like to thank the ALS Association of Rhode Island for helping so many people with ALS in the state get there. I'd also like to thank my business associates at Constitution who built my website. Thank you, Constitution, for helping me get there. Last but not least, my family and friends from Barrington and Bristol, Rhode Island. Many of you helped put this thing together tonight. And not only do you help here tonight, you help the Palko family. Every day, somebody does something to help us out. So thank you all you people from Barrington and Bristol for helping the Palko family get there. And last but not least, my wife Elizabeth, who should be receiving this Courage Award. Every day, I see fear in her eyes She worries about whether I'm going to choke on something or I'm going to fall down. And then, especially now that I drive a wheelchair, you should never get a power wheelchair to a former pilot. So, in closing, as I look out to the sea of family and friends, the thought I had about whether anybody would ever attend my funeral is probably the stupidest thought I ever had in my life.
What you are witnessing could be major steps forward in the fight against ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Kreg Palko of Barrington is doing physical therapy at a Locomat machine, hoping to one day walk again.
Legs are a little tired, and overall good though.
Everybody ready? Good. Go.
Twice a week at Boston's Spaulding Rehabilitation Hospital, Palko goes through the tedious process of being strapped in and harnessed by physical therapists before walking with the machine for 30 minutes. After 2 months of this, there is payoff.
Yeah, I'm improving every day, every week, every month, I guess now. My goal, I did originally walk into the hospital, so my goal is to walk out.
The therapy comes after surgery at Massachusetts General Hospital, where millions of stem cells were transplanted into Palko's spinal cord in hopes of slowing or reversing the paralyzing effects of ALS. The procedure Kreg has undergone is not only pioneering, it is extremely rare. In fact, only about 20 people in the entire United States have had this surgery. It was just over 1 year ago that Palko was diagnosed with ALS. The 49-year-old former Air Force pilot is a lifelong athlete. He played college football, was an avid surfer, and skied with his wife and kids.
I'm being so active, it's a tough pill to swallow. On the other hand, I'm very competitive and I love a challenge.
His Rhode Island doctors say he was ideal for the stem cell surgery.
This is big, and this has applications to all sorts of things, not just ALS, but spinal cord injury and all sorts of neurodegenerative diseases. So it really is a very early step and a very bold step, and I think that it's really suitable for Kreg to be taking it.
Then we quit.
And then we quit.
It can be an emotional roller coaster. At times, Kreg laughs during physical therapy, but also shed tears talking about his wife of 22 years who stands by him all the way. Together, they've signed up for every ALS clinical trial, test, or procedure that needs volunteers.
I hope that Kreg is going to benefit, but I know that people after us are definitely going to benefit from this.
Kreg was even able to stand up out of his wheelchair during our visit, knowing all the while progress for him against ALS is just one step at a time.
Time will tell, it's a big experiment, but right now it's going in the right direction.
In Boston, I'm Mark Curtis, ABC 6 News. What does this night mean to you? The honor and being here and helping ALS and helping yourself?
Honestly, it's probably the biggest night of my life. I've never been honored like this, and I have so many family and friends in one place for me, and doing so good for the association, and make them so much money tonight. So, probably the biggest night of my life.
In terms of how this benefits people like you down the road, this pioneering research, what are your hopes and your thoughts about that?
My hopes are first that they find maybe a treatment, something that holds the disease off. I think they're getting close to that. with stem cells and other pharmaceutical drugs. Overall, you know, of course, I hope they find a cure. And in the meantime, making people comfortable and helping them out, because ALS actually bankrupts the average family. And you know, the ALS Association tries to prevent that and let them, you know, make that not happen.
It goes without saying, I know this night means a lot. You have so many of your friends here and people you've worked with all your life. It's been quite a turnout.
Yeah, unbelievable turnout. And, you know, says a lot about the good people of the state and how generous they are and how giving they are and how they'll go to bat for you if they want to go to bat for you. I'm overwhelmed.